Hello and welcome back to the TV Show Club, the club where we talk about TV shows that we've been recently watching, viewing and enjoying. Let me know what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you've seen what I'm about to talk about, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. The Bad Batch is finally finished. I loved these characters from the minute we set eyes on them in the final season of Clone Wars. I thought they were an absolutely brilliant addition to the cast of this just ever-growing universe of the Clone Wars, but I genuinely fell in love with all of them. I liked their characteristics, I liked just having this sort of A-team of the Star Wars universe, I thought was brilliant. When I knew that they were getting their own TV show, I was excited. It's a part of Star Wars that we haven't seen, the sort of bridging gap from the Republic to the Empire. I thought it was going to be absolutely brilliant, and while at times the series as a whole was a little bit slow, a little bit fillery, I can't complain with the final season. This is what I wanted. For the whole time, this is what I wanted. The dark, eerie creepiness of the Empire and the Bad Batch trying to essentially rebel against it. The final season had its problems, I think. I don't necessarily think it did a whole lot. I mean, if you look at the series as a whole, it was essentially Omega escaping, doing a couple missions, Omega going back, and them trying to break out Omega again. It's just, there was a few little repetitive, nature and parts of it, but overall, I did enjoy it more than I think I enjoyed season 1 and 2. It was paced a lot better, there was a lot less Sid side missions that I just didn't care about. I genuinely honestly think the Bad Batch could have been absolutely incredible as the series as a whole, if a lot of the sort of shite filler was just cut from it. I think it could have just genuinely been an absolutely top tier Star Wars series. In terms of the concept of it, I think they sort of went down a path of treating it like the Clone Wars when it should have been treated differently, and it should have been that scary, eerie empire looming over them and them just trying to rebel against this massive empire that they can't do anything about. They can't save all the clones, they can't do anything, and it should have been more focused on that rather than trying to set up the Emperor being cloned, because essentially that is what this show boils down to, in my opinion. While I absolutely love the show, if the sequel films had not led to somehow Emperor Palpatine's returned, would this show even exist? Possibly not. So for that, it's kind of a little bit like, you're just trying to achieve something with this, and it's not what I want. I want a show about these characters that doesn't have to lead you down a certain route. The way that the Bad Batch wrapped up though, I did love. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the way it ended and how the last episode sort of finished, but I had a smile on my face, I can't lie. While I was so sad that Tech wasn't there, all the theories that he was still alive, he wasn't, but just that last shot of the group sat there, I do wish that they'd sort of put Tech's glasses on the side just as a little memory of him, but regardless, that final shot and then sort of seeing in the future, I really liked seeing them in the future, seeing an older Omega and an old Hunter and how they sort of survived on this little off island. They just lived off grid, but now Omega wants to go and fight for the rebellion, and I absolutely love that. I think it was brilliant because it didn't leave us to just constantly be speculating what happened to them, what happened to Omega, what happened afterwards, because that's always a question. It was what happened to Rex before we got Rebels. It was what happened. I mean, we still don't know what happened to Cody really, but just all the clones, it was very sort of left open, and it's nice to actually have a show that closes. I mean, not necessarily for Omega. She might go off and do some other journey and be in some other show. Maybe we'll see her pop up in the next sequel films that they do with Rey. Who knows? But I genuinely did really enjoy this. I thought it was just a brilliant way to wrap up the characters. One thing I didn't necessarily like about the last season of Bad Batch is them using the character of Asajj Ventress really pointlessly, in my opinion. I was so excited when I saw her in the trailer. It's a character that I really genuinely grew up just loving and enjoying watching, and to get the character but not really get anything from them, not know where they came from to get to this point or where they're going afterwards, I have no idea, and I'm left sort of as clueless as I was before I saw her. I think they could have done this season without that, without alluding to, I mean, they needed to allude to Omega having the M count and stuff like that, but to just use her as like a, oh, do you have the Force? No, I don't think you do actually, but you might have a little bit, I'm not sure. It just felt like a waste of a character to me, to bring someone so brilliant back just to sort of not use them. To me, I just didn't feel like I loved that use of the character, but it was still cool to see her nevertheless, and I hope we see her in the future. But anyway, let me know, what did you think of Bad Batch Season 3, or just the season as a whole? I'd be really interested to know what you genuinely think and how you thought the ending wrapped up. But anyway, that is all from me. If you did enjoy, please like down below, and I'll see you next time on the TV Show Club.